boys and girls, welcome along. It's, what is it, Wednesday. It's Wednesday the 29th of June 2022. Welcome along to tonight's chat show. And this evening, also on reachonair.com. We're on the internet radio as well this evening, gang. reachonair.com, which is why I had to cut short that little film. Bad timing there from me. I thought I had 2 minutes, and it's more like 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So apologies. And we do hope you, those of you watching on YouTube, didn't spoil the little video that I know you all enjoy so much, don't you, my darlings, eh? We had to cut that a little bit short there. So as I say, you can watch this either on YouTube tonight. Just type into your address bar unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk in the address bar, not the YouTube search, in the address bar. You can join us there as this is also a video show, and also tonight on reachonair.com. Perhaps you're out in the car or you're going out somewhere, you can have it on while you're walking around this evening, which means there's loads of ways to contact the show as well this evening if you want to join in at any time. We'll have a phone number opening up shortly, okay, so you can call in. There is the Reach On Air message system, which is open in front of me. There's the text number 07451 287 337 is my text number. I think we can play that jingle, actually. Can we play that text jingle? Would that be all right? Copyright wise, I think we could. Hang on a minute, if I can just find it. Anyway, you can text in the show if you want to.
You can send Chris a text message right now on 07451 287 337.
Yeah.
07451 287 337.
All right, so you can text in if you want. There's an email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, if you want to send an email. And also, I'll try and pop in and out of the chat box as well. But because there's so many different ways of contacting me tonight, it's a little bit complicated at this end, but I'll try and keep on top of it, okay? So fingers crossed there. Let's just say hello to some of the people texting in already on the show tonight. A very good evening to George Bond. Evening, George, who sings his little jingle again. Thank you very much, George. George says, Reach On Air mobile studio in Berkshire. This is Chris Reardon Live. Well, this isn't actually a mobile studio, George, but I do have one now. I can sort of turn up anywhere now and do a show. I managed to get that sorted. You remember I said to you about I was going to try and get the laptop sorted and to be able to, wherever I am, if I take the laptop with us, do my radio show, and I can do that now. So it's handy, isn't it? Evening to John Parrish. Evening, John. They're having Toad in a Hole tonight. Oh, you must have been watching my sister's video. Yeah, Toad in the Hole, homemade versus shop bought. She does a lovely Toad in a Hole. I tell you that now. She made me one with the vegetarian sausages last time I was up there. Absolutely delicious. The what do you call it? Sponge? It's not sponge, is it? What's that called? A batter. The batter. Oh my God, it was delicious. It was quite thick. Nothing like you get in the little plastic tray or the little metal tray, you know, from Linda McCartney or wherever. Oh, so much better than that. Thank you very much. Evening, John. Hello to Gary Ross this evening. Evening to Gary. And Steve in Dagenham is with us as well. Good evening to Steve in Dagenham. 07451 287 337 for your texts tonight. Over there in the chat box this evening. If you're watching on unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, on the YouTube, there is a chat box for people to talk to each other. I also pop in and out of there sometimes. But I may miss messages in there because there's so many of them. So if you want to get a message straight to me, use the Reach On Air message system or the text number 07451 287 337. We say hello to Dan Woodhouse, Christina Hunt, Gary Ross, Daniel Walsh is in the house. Good evening, Daniel. I think you watch the karaoke streams a lot, don't you, Daniel? Hello to you. Jason Hughes is in there. There's Mandy Davenport. Good evening to Mandy Davenport. Mandy Davenport, just in case you didn't know, is indeed head of pain and suffering on this channel. When we get naughty people, we do invite Mandy Davenport to go in and lash you a little bit. So be very careful. She's always fully aware of what's going on. All right. Thank you, Mandy. Nice to see you, darling. Built in Scotland, Mick is there. Hello to Lily Shambles. Evening, Lily. Hello. Given it is Mr. Reardon, can we do a poll of how much rubbish very serious we can expect? It's all rubbish, dear. There's nothing serious on this programme. Lee Wescombe. Good evening to Lee. Whereabouts are you, Lee? Welcome along to the show to you, sir. Derek Martin, good evening, Derek. Welcome to the show, Derek. Rowan's there. Evening, Rowan Riley. Lots of people there today. Marvellous to see you. And David Fryer. Oh, gosh, I haven't seen you since our bingo days. That's over. Is that 2 years ago now, the bingo? I think it is. I think we finished the bingo about 2 years ago. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Our time passes like that. It's all right, Mandy. See, she's straight on it there. You called me, Chris. No, just giving them an example of punishment that they can expect on this programme, you know, if they misbehave. Talking of misbehaving, do you know what? I have misbehaved myself tonight. I've just realised there's no water here. I haven't got any water, which means if I get desperate, and I'll be honest with you, I've been desperate for some years now. If I do get desperate, I'll have to go out to the bathroom and get water from the water tank. How scary is that? Water from the water tank. You know, the one that you brush your teeth with and have a shower out, that water? Yes, very dangerous. Over the years, you always get people tell you, don't drink water out of the bathroom tap, they say, don't they? All the time they say that. Why do they say that? It's not killed me off yet. Thank you very much. Lee is in South Wales. Well done, Lee. I was in South Wales, not last Monday, the Monday before, Cardiff, for the Barry Manilow concert. Yes. Barry Manilow. Looks like we made it. Oh, it was fantastic, Lee. At the Motorpoint Arena, which can only describe as a scuttle. It is. It's like an enlarged school hall, isn't it? Like an assembly hall. Did you ever do assembly at school? You know, we all come, good morning, boys and girls, in the name of the Father, the Son, and you do prayers and all that, and a hymn. And usually a hymn as well. I think in the school days, one of my favourites would have been Kumbaya. Do you remember that one? I think it was a foreign hymn. It must have been some from foreign parts. Kumbaya. I've looked in the dictionary, can't find a thing about that, dear. Kumbaya, my love. Do you know that one, Lee? Thank you, Lee. Good evening to Liam as well. He's listening on Reach on Air. Good evening to you, Liam. I see that you're doing a late night show on Reach on Air now, aren't you? Is it... let me think. It's tonight, isn't it? Thursday, yes, 12 till 2. Liam will be with you at Reach on Air. I'm sure it's 12 to 2. Just come back to me, Liam, and correct me if I'm wrong there, okay? Let's have a look. Lily makes a change from water from the loo, Chris. Oh, we don't drink water out of the toilets. No, that's for dogs. I mean, I could make you feel really sick now. If I don't know who's having their dinners at the moment. Anyone shoving another load of food into your fat mouths? Anyone doing that at the moment? Are you doing it? All I can tell you, and this happened some time ago, about 6 months ago, maybe a year, right? Great nephew Harry used the toilet, and it was a sit-down toilet, okay, and forgot to flush the chain. And one of the dogs went in the toilet after. That's all I say. I don't want to say any more than that. Does that make me feel ill? Oh, how awful that is, isn't it? It's just horrendous, that is. David, did anyone watch Glastonbury with Paul McCartney? No, but I did watch with Diana Ross, and I did watch with Pet Shop Boys. The Pet Shop Boys, the staging of that was phenomenal, don't you think? Although I did feel sorry for those dancers in those all-in-one silver outfits. They must have been blooming hot in that. Must have felt like roasting turkeys, mustn't they? Excuse me. Good evening to John Floodgate this evening. Johnny F's in the house, all the way from Luton. He's just had a Greek meal, loads of chicken. Poor little chickens, John. Can't you become a vegetarianism like me, dear? Yes, I had just literally about 7:30 tonight. I've had a couple of Linda McCartney veggie burgers with mozzarella cheese. And I've started putting pineapple on top. Because if I take a pizza, I've learnt this, right? If I get a frozen pizza, I don't buy pizzas to be delivered. No, thank you. Not at bleeding £25 a pop, or whatever they are. Minimum is like 20 quid when they come to the door. No, certainly not. I usually go to Aldi or Sainsbury's. They got the special offer on at the moment on the stuffed crust pizzas with that tomato sauce stuff. Right, and they're £2.75 at the moment. I like to put pineapple on there as well. Very, very delicious pineapple on pizza. I know some of you don't like it. But I've been buying cans of pineapple as well. Seeing as the fresh pineapple is so dear in there. It's like they wanted £2.25 for a little plastic, what do you call it? A little plastic pot of pineapple. £2.25 it was. How is it that much? That's outrageous. So I discovered that if you buy the tins of pineapple, you get 8 in there for something like 99 pence. Right? What I was doing with that pineapple is getting out the frozen pizza, putting the pineapple on the pizza and then baking it. No, don't do that, because the pizza doesn't cook. And you get it out of the oven and the bottom falls out. It was like having an anal prolapse. It was awful. Awful. Picked up this thing, took it off the baking tray, and the middle of it just fell out onto the floor. Don't worry, it wasn't wasted. I scraped it up, put it back on my plate. Don't you worry about that. We don't waste food in this house. You'll never, ever find food in my bins. I'm telling you that now. Never. Oh, there's Liam. It's Thursday night. He's doing 12 till 2 this morning. Okay. Thank you very much, Liam. So Liam's on Reach on Air tonight between midnight and 2 a.m. Oh, that's a newsflash coming in, that is. Just a minute. That's important. Oh, it's R. Kelly. He's got to do 30 years in jail. Wow. Oh, dear. How many times did you play him at a disco? And he's been done, is it like a paedophile type thing? Let me have a look. Running a scheme to abuse girls and women. There you are. R. Kelly and going to prison for 30 years. Bye! Don't suppose you'll come out of there. You don't want to go there, R. Kelly. Presumably you're a straight lad, are you, R. Kelly? Not if you go to prison, you won't be. I hope you're looking forward to seeing those nice butch men there waiting for you, my darlings, as you walk in. The new boy. Yes, you'll get your just desserts there, my friend. Yeah, so I discovered what you have to do is you put the pizza in the oven and then you put the bits of pineapple on a separate baking tray and put that underneath and you cook them separately, and then at the end you then put the pineapple on the top, and by then you can lift the pizza and it doesn't have an anal prolapse when it falls out the oven, when the middle of it falls out. Must be dreadful to have something like that, doesn't it, eh? Anal prolapse. You imagine that, just walking along and suddenly your bum falls out. Oh, God's sake. So anyway, I said to you, you get 8 pineapple rings in a tin, didn't I? I don't know how we got onto this subject. This often happens, doesn't it? We go on something completely different. So I put 4 rings on the pizza. You probably could put 6 on next time. But then you've got 4 left over. What do you do with those? What can I put on those? I've started putting them on my burgers. Lovely, thank you very much. I told my sister she was disgusted. She don't like sweet and sour stuff at the same time. But she has that blooming Chinese stuff. Oh, I can't bear that. Oh, the smell. Blech. Oh, it makes me feel ill, Chinese food. I'm sorry, it does. It does. It might have been my mum's fault. Yeah, she told me if I ate anything foreign, I would die. It's true. It's true. I'm not a fan of Chinese food. I don't mind vegetarian Indian food. That's very, very tasty. I love the smell. I love the smell of Indian food, proper cooked Indian food, not the Indian food that I've tried to do before and it goes terribly wrong and it just a terrible smell. I'm doing it wrong, obviously. You know. Funnily enough, I was doing some litter picking on Saturday morning this week. I like to do volunteer litter picking. And I found, you couldn't make it up really, an entire bag of chucked away Indian food, which someone had clearly ordered. It said on the bag, tandoori, whatever it was, something like that. And there was the bag on the bit of grass next to the road, along with plastic containers, not metal ones. Usually you get them in metal ones, don't you, with a little cardboard lid. No, these were proper plastic containers. Okay, they were fairly high quality, almost as high quality as the Tupperware stuff. That's the sort of quality we were. And there were loads of them just by the side of the road. There were some unopened ones, some that looked like they'd eaten half of it and then chucked the rest away. But there was a couple of unopened ones and a bag just full of stuff chucked by the side of the road. Don't worry, Chris Reardon came along with his red litter bag and his litter picker, and I picked them all up and put them all in. And here's the weird thing about it. It had a little bonus to it. A little bit of pleasure came my way because clearly this stuff hadn't been there very long, probably the night before, I would imagine, and it still smelt nice. I mean, I was tempted to bring it home and put it in the microwave, to be honest. You know, don't know what second-hand warmed up Indian food would be like. I mean, I wouldn't do it if it was obviously meat, but if it was any vegetarian stuff, I might have reheated that, and perhaps I should have tried it. Anyway, and so for the rest of that litter pick, although no, that's not true because it was a bit heavy. I probably carried it for about another 15 minutes to get some more stuff in the litter bag before I dropped it off at my designated point. And for that 20 minutes, all I could smell was this beautiful Indian food. Oh, a lovely smell, that stuff. They know how to do it, don't they? You know, Chinese, nope, I can't bear the smell. Funny, isn't it, really? But we all have our preferences when it comes to food, doesn't it? Lily Shambles explains dodgy pineapple on pizza. Not cooked enough, but roast it and then it's fine. Yeah, do it separately, Lily. It's no problem, is it? You just put the pizza on one shelf and however much pineapple on the other shelf. But don't buy fresh pineapple, as I just told you. You know, outrageous. £2.25. For a small carton full of that, you get a tin, 95 pence, 8 rings in there. Oh, they're beautiful. And that's what I've just had. So I had Linda McCartney burgers, pineapple rings on top there, and baked beans on top of that. Yes, please. Very tasty. Good evening to Michael Lawrence, just joining us this evening. Evening to SCTV fan. Chris is there. Pineapple on pizza is amazing. Very nice indeed. Cheese and pineapple. Well, of course, the cheese is already on there. Do you like? Is that what you like, Gary Ross? Cheese and pineapple on sticks. Yes, very tasty. Very happy to have a few of those at a wedding. Don't seem to get invited to weddings much. I've got a posh one to go to in a few weeks' time in August. When's that? Hang on a minute. Let me tell you. Oh, I can't remember where it is now. August. There it is. August the 13th. Got a posh wedding to go to in Kent. I think it's Maidstone or something like that. Good evening to Maureen, watching in London. Evening to you, Maureen. Hello to Diane Jebb. Good evening, Diane Jebb. Evening, Diane. Danny in Dagenham is in the house. Evening, Danny. Danny says, do you hate the sound of people eating crisps? No, that actually doesn't bother me, Danny. I'll tell you what I don't like the sound of. My mate comes round sometimes for either dinner or lunch, right? And he has a bottle of Lucozade. I'm a tea drinker. I rarely have. Extremely rare for me to have a soft drink. Very, very rare. I'm a big tea drinker. Alcohol, even less often. A glass of champagne on the plane or an afternoon tea is about the only alcohol I ever have. So that would be about 4 or 5 times a year. That's it. You know, people eating crisps don't bother me. But my mate has this bottle of Lucozade. So he drinks the Lucozade, Danny, right? And then while we're trying to watch a programme, which at the moment we've been watching Man and Bee. Have you seen that yet on Netflix? Man and Bee. Excellent, hilarious programme with the great Rowan Atkinson. And it's like Mr. Bean talking. It's a bit like that. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. Do watch that on Netflix. We've just finished watching it, actually, last night. There are 9 episodes of that. They're only about 10 minutes each. Really, really good. So Man and Bee, good programme for you to watch on Netflix. Okay, you could watch them all together, really. About an hour and a half. 9 programmes, around about 10 minutes each. And that's Man and Bee. And when he's finished the Lucozade, he starts taking off the plastic wrapper around the side of the bottle. Crunch, 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 crunch. First of all, and he bites off that ring. You know, so you've got the top, right? You twist the top and it breaks that ring. He then pulls off the ring with his teeth, making all this noise, and then rustle, taking off this bit of cellophane that's around the blooming bottle. It's very, very annoying. Very, very annoying indeed. If you're listening to us on Reach On Air, good evening to you. Do feel free to send us a message on the Reach On Air message system or text 07451 287 337 is my text number. We're here with you until 10 o'clock tonight, okay? Anyway, Danny in Dagenham. No, I don't. It's just that annoying when he's taking that wrapper off the blooming Lucozade bottle. Danny says, I would grab a bag of whatever was left in the variety pack, usually the crap one no one wanted. That would be the prawn cocktail flavour. See, I know that straight away. I can't bear the smell. I can't bear the smell. Prawn cocktail crisps. Vile. Why are they always in a pink packet? Oh, mind you, prawns are pink, aren't they? Prawns are pink. Yeah, so that's got to be the prawn cocktail ones you're left with, is it, Danny? Do you know what I got the other day from Sainsbury's? They're back. Marmite crisps. Yes, please. Marmite crisps. Very, very delicious. I don't know how many there were in the bag, but it only lasted a day. Back to Danny's email. He says, I would grab a bag of whatever was left in the variety pack, usually the crap one no one wanted. I would go back to the living room and open my pack of Gary Lineker Walkers and begin to pick out on them. All of a sudden, you'd hear a loud tut and moan under the breath that would come from the far side of the living room. My dad moaning that I'm chewing too loud. Couple of hours later, I'm surprised he can still hear at his age. Dear me, can he still hear all right, your dad? Dear me, he must be knocking on a bit, Danny, is he? You know what you got to do? Has he got hearing aid? Take the battery out. Take the battery out of the hearing aid before you start eating the crisps. He won't moan then, will he? Huh? Won't moan then. Or here's a trick. Now, my mate wears a hearing aid, right? Do you know what I like to do? I like to come quietly behind him and put my hand right over the hearing aid, the ear like that, and it starts whistling. He goes mad. Yeah, try that. Anyone you know with hearing aid, go up behind them quietly and you've got to put your hand. You know, I'm not saying you to slap them or anything like that. Put your hand right over their ear like that, right? And it'll start whistling. They hate it. They hate it. Anyway, back to this. His dad moans that he chews too loud. A couple of hours later, my dad would grab a bag of crisps, usually what is hid that no one can see. The better flavours, well, that would be cheese and onion and salt and vinegar. I know. He'd sit down and all you would hear is a loud chewing. I'd look up, he's probably not chewing them. I would imagine your dad's quite old. Has he got teeth? He's probably sucking the crisps to death. You know, sucking the flavour off of the crisps, is he? That's what they, when their teeth have gone, that's what they have to do. They suck the crisps until they go all soft and then just swallow them. No chewing involved. Anyway, Danny says he'd sit down and all you would hear is a loud chewing. I'd look over and it was him looking like a piranha fish with his jaw up and down like nobody's business, doing what he moaned about if others done it. What's your thoughts? And if you could speak up, as the greedy sod is probably watching the show now, eating a bag of crisps and cannot hear you properly. Oh, you've already remember. So you've taken his hearing aid battery out already. Well done, Danny. Great minds think alike. Poor dad. Go and see if you can find a decent flavour crisps, mate. I bet you it's the cheese and onion and the salt and vinegar ones he has, is it? Only prawn cocktail for you, my boy. George Bond isn't feeling very well. Get well soon, George. Get well soon. Let's have a look. Who's this? Finishing 9-2. Someone sent in a text finishing 9-2. I don't know who you are. Okay, do you want to send your name as well? It just says, my dad using the toilet, okay? My dad, Stephen, had to use the sink as the last resort and sift it down the sink with a lollipop. Oh, no! Why did he use the sink? I don't know who you are. It just finishes 9-2. I haven't got your name in there. Why would you use the sink? Was he stuck in a hotel or something like that? Oh, God, I feel ill now. Years ago, of course, they used to have a poo knife, didn't they? You know, when everyone had outside toilets. Actually, I think John Parish has still got an outside toilet. They have a knife next to it, so if it doesn't go down, you chop it up and then flush it. It's true. It's true. Look it up. Look it up. Evening to Stephen Petty. Hello to you, Stephen, up there in Lincoln. Hope you're safe and well. From Stephen and Emily in Fiskerton, Lincoln, which is a nice little place. I've driven I've driven through there a few times. Actually, I think my nephew's wife's mother used to live in Fiskerton. I'm not sure if that's 100% right or not. Evening to Vera from Vera's Choice in the Morning. Good evening, Vera. Researcher on this programme. A BBC researcher nonetheless. We don't have no crap here, mate. BBC researchers working on this programme. Thank you very much for nothing. And good evening to John in Kettering as well. Good evening to John in Kettering joining us at reachonair.com. All right. Good. We're talking about man and bee, which just comes to something else I've noticed. Now, tell me if you've noticed this, especially if you're a gardener, right? For a few years now, we've been hearing people talk about lack of insects. And I certainly remember when I started driving, when I moved here to Bracknell, by the time I'd got home or got to work, my windscreen on the car would be covered in dead insects. Do you remember those days? That doesn't happen anymore, and hasn't done for some years now. I didn't even notice it until someone mentioned it once on the radio, that where are all the insects gone? Okay? This year, there is absolutely a distinct, very big lack in insects. I've seen a handful of bees some weeks ago, actually, not recently. I've seen no wasps whatsoever, not a single wasp I've seen. But this year, in particular, I have lilies growing up the front, and they've been there for some years. Very big, tall lilies. You may have seen photographs of them. And they come back every year. My mate's mother gave me some lily plants a few years ago now. And I planted them in great big pots, and they multiplied, and I split them up, and they multiplied, and they keep multiplying, and they look beautiful, and they're out at the moment. They half of them are out now. It depends. Half of them are better in the sun than the other half, and that's the half that come out first. The other half come out a bit later, which is good because then you get more time with looking at the lilies, right? And I always have a problem with lily beetles. This year, I've squashed about 4 lily beetles instead of about 30 or 40. Now, I'm fairly quick on the old spraying, and the spraying is quite effective, but still, you tend to get some lilies that escape the spray. And I don't think it's the fact that I haven't sprayed them well enough. There just aren't any. 4 instead of about 30 or 40 lily beetles this year, which is a bit odd. Not only that, greenfly. I've not seen any greenfly, as in none. Again, in my back garden, I've got roses. Now, my garden doesn't grow roses very well. It doesn't get the sun all day long. And when you do get the roses, you might just get 1 or 2 and then some small ones. Nothing like you see with someone with a south-facing garden, right? But usually you get the greenfly gather around the buds, and there's none. I haven't seen any greenfly at all. I did spray them once. I've only sprayed everything once this year, and there's no insects. Anyone else notice that at all in the garden? Any of our gardeners with us today? Notice any insects? Vera says you don't see many butterflies either. No, I've seen a couple of butterflies. Moths. Plenty of moths, because they fly in, when you leave the light on. I've had them fly in with the light on. But very big lacking in insects today. Strange. Lily Shamble says, have to say, Chris, early on in the year I found a lot of dead ladybirds, and now when I need them I've only seen a couple. Yeah, funnily enough, I've seen 1 ladybird this year, and that was today. I was cutting down a bush in front of some windows. Not completely, just trimming it. I've only seen 1 ladybird this year. Isn't that strange? Very strange. Even to Fran Green joining us. Hello to Fran Green. John's coming to a venue in King's Crossing Friday evening with my friend. Can I sing a song? Of course you can. What are you going to sing? That's the question, John. What are you going to sing? Big stage. You'll be live on our little karaoke stream. How fabulous is that? Lily says, I've got a bee issue currently. I'm sick of headbutting them, so they've made a nest in a stone wall just outside my back door. Yeah, but if they're bees, they won't bother you, Lily. Seriously, they won't bother you. In fact, if they are bees, you'll probably be able to go right up to the little hole that they go in and out of, and they won't bother you. You'll be able to watch them. Bees will not bother you. Seriously, it's wasps. They attack for no reason at all. A little bit like Great Nephew Harry, actually. He attacks for no reason at all either. Well, we haven't opened the phone lines yet, and yet Ross Patel is already on the line. Good evening, Ross.
Well, is this the garden phone-in?
This is the garden phone-in, BBC Radio 3. Gardener's question time. Can I help?
Well, I'm in my van at work, and I'm.
Are you speaking for public convenience?
I'm speaking in the radio, but I need to take it off Bluetooth. Hold on
yes,
a second.
please take it off Bluetooth. If you could pull over safely, because we don't want you to have a terrible crash and hurt yourself, unless you're filming it for YouTube.
No, it's all safe and legal. I am now on my normal phone. Good evening.
Good evening. Normal phone. Good evening. How are you? Are you listening or watching?
I've got a 5-minute gap, so
right.
I'm at work. So
are you on? Right, carry on.
I've got a 5-minute gap at work, so I thought I'd phone in the gardening phone-in.
It's the gardening phone-in. Anything you want to know, gardening question time. Do you know, this wasn't even on my menu of stuff to do. I don't know how we've come to this, but carry on.
How do you grow marijuana?
I don't know. I've never grown it. Bleeding stuff stinks. Have you? No, I don't think you do it in the garden. When I see like police programs and all that, people seem to do it inside their flats. Or I tell you what, as a landlord, you have to be aware of that, because what people do, they go and hire your flat. They rent a flat that you've got. Once they're in there, they start cutting holes in the walls and ceilings, putting in chimneys and lights and all this sort of stuff, and growing that bleeding stuff. It must stink in there. Oh no, dear.
I can't be doing with all that. Too much hassle.
Yes. Carry on.
How are you tonight? Are you all right?
I'm very well, thank you. I've got my Clouds jacket on tonight. My Thames television jacket. It looks like Thames television.
And I can hear your air conditioning whirling round. Is it nice and cool in there?
Oh, can you? Is it very loud?
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, I can hear it in the background. Only a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got that on tonight. It's a little bit warm in here. I've had me one put in the living room as well, so I'm quite pleased about that.
Yeah. How did that go? Was it all installed?
Yeah, lovely pair of blokes. They put the one in my bedroom in 2 years ago, so I had the same blokes out, and very good deal. I told you the price what I paid privately the other day, and it's all up and running. Of course, I don't need it at the moment because it's not really hot enough, and it also heats as well. You see, my idea is that you only heat the room that you want to be in rather than the entire house. It's got to be cheaper, isn't it, Ross?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Now,
How long did it take to install it then, from start to finish?
The boys got here about 10:30, and they left at 3 o'clock.
Oh, that ain't bad, is it?
No, not bad at all. Depends on your house and where you want to put it, how long the pipes go, how easy they can drill through the wall. I would imagine it's probably easier to put it in a modern house because the walls are just like paper, aren't they, in some of those houses?
Oh yeah.
Awful.
Yeah, I've got an older house like yours, so they're a bit more solid, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Well, I've got a lovely view while I'm listening to you. I'm literally overlooking a field, an old RAF field, and I can see the old runway where the planes used to go. It's amazing.
Get out of the van, run along the runway, and put your arms out and see if you take off. A lot of people would like to see you do that one way.
No, not with my belly, dear.
It sounds very windy where you are.
Yeah, that is a bit. I'll shut the windows actually because I need to be a bit more professional.
Could you shut? It's not very unprofessional, dear. Speaking from a radio personality such as yourself, I'm very disappointed with the quality of your audio.
I do apologise. There you go. That better for you.
You had a very, very good show last night on Reach on Air, I must say. I started off listening when I joined about 10 to 9. There was a Scottish bloke playing music. And then you came on and I was with you all night, actually, doing stuff. Lots of phone calls you got, didn't you?
I know, they all come out of the blue. I don't... Well, I never prepare anything anyway, but that's one of them things you never know what's going to happen. And some weeks... you don't get any phone calls, and there's no messages, and you think, oh, what's the point? And then there's other weeks when, like last night, I was just like, that was just bang one after the other. That was brilliant. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It sounded really good anyway.
I never get bored of doing it like you. I look forward to it. There's some weeks when I can't be bothered, but once I start doing it, I always enjoy it.
Oh, good. I'm glad you do. Do you know what? I haven't even put up my my advert on Facebook tonight for this show. What an idiot!
I know. I was looking for the phone number.
I can't believe that. I haven't put up the advert.
Well,
I haven't put up the advert. I'll do it now while you're there, while you're chatting away there to me.
I put mine on there 5 minutes every week before the show.
Well, I always do it. I always do that around about 7:30. But it's a little bit more technically involved tonight, and that's why I've forgotten to do it. What can I do? Join us now online. Join us now here. I don't know.
Right, I'm going to go because I've got my next customer. But I'll be listening in. So have a good show.
How marvellous. Thank you for calling into our circuits, Ross. Cheerio.
No problem. Goodbye.
There we are. The lovely Ross Pat's out there. Thank you very much, Ross, for calling in there. It's nice of him to call in, isn't it? We were talking about bees and insects. Yeah, distinct lack of insects today. Lily says, no issues with bees. They've been feeding on all her herbs. Herbs. Oh, there was a great children's TV programme. The Herbs. You remember that, don't you, Lily? The Herbs. Yes, Parsley the lion. Dylan the dog. Was that the Magic Roundabout? I can't remember now. I love it. All right, something to talk about tonight. Then let's have a little look at our menu. Do you remember your school exams? How did you get on your school exams? Ring me and tell me all about it. Did you enjoy doing them? I hated it. Phone number's open now. If you want to call in, it's 020 8144 3477. If you've not called in before, just to let you know, you need to send your number when you call. We don't accept withheld numbers or number not available. You must send your number when you call in. The reason for that is otherwise you get a load of withheld numbers calling in and just putting the phone down, and it's just a bit of a waste of time, all right? So tell me about your school exams. Daniel's calling in from Romford. Good evening, Daniel.
All right.
All right. All right. All right. You sounded like that girl then on Catherine Tate. You're right. You're right, Ryan. Do you want some of my Snickers bar? Do you remember that Catherine Tate show?
I know Catherine Tate. I didn't know that sketch though. I was more used to mate, but bothered.
No, that's the one. That's the one when she's playing the schoolgirl character, and one of her friends is Ryan. He's the good-looking lad, and she really likes him, but he's not really interested. And he comes along, and he said, "All right, what's her name? Lauren. Is it Lauren? Is it Lauren?
Lauren Cooper.
You're right, Lauren. You're right, Lauren." And she goes, "All right, Ryan. How's it going, Lauren? Do you want some of my Snickers bar?" Like that. By the way, someone just trying to call in there. I can only take one call at a time, okay? So please wait until this call is over, and then you'll be able to call in. I can only actually do one call at a time. Carry on, Danny. Danny, do you mind? Can I just get myself a little cup of water? I'm getting dry already now.
Yes.
And
just go and get your water.
You talk about what you wanted to talk about, because I can hear you in the bathroom. Carry on.
All right then. You wouldn't want me to do Catherine Tate's Nan, would you? I could do it. I bet you'd love me to do it, wouldn't you? But he'll, what he'll say. He'll say it goes against Catholic doctrine, I suppose. Anyway, school. Yes. Oh dear, school. What 11 years of my life wasted.
Why was it wasted?
Because, apart from maybe science.
I thought you were going to say seances. Are they doing seances at school? That
would probably be more interesting than a normal lesson.
All right, go on.
Most lessons that actually felt like a seance, actually.
Was it that boring?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the only entertaining thing that ever happened at school was during a lesson of what I like to call food and drink, or today they call it food tech, apparently.
Food tech, is that what they call it?
There was this. The teacher was talking about meat, or as you call it, dead animal.
Dead animals, yes. Dead animals, that's what it is. Dead animals, carry on.
and she went, and does anyone know why is meat hung? And someone put this bloke put his hand up, and he went, so we don't trip over it.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
And I thought, oh yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, but I mean, actually, your main thing is the exams. I mean, I remember during the exams actually coming in. When you're doing an exam, the longest exam we had to do was drama of all lessons.
Oh, right, okay.
2.5 hours of a GCSE exam, the longest exam possible.
Oh, I don't.
Go into drama, 2.5 hours.
I don't think that was my longest exam. I'm sure we had ones that went on the entire morning, starting when we got there until lunchtime. I'm sure there was a couple of exams like that. But carry on.
Yeah. Well, actually, the longest exam, really, I suppose, if you count number of days, is actually art.
Yeah. Were you any good at that?
No, I'm sorry, I cannot draw, paint. Just useless at it. But you think, what is it? This goes over a number of days, like weeks, and you think, how long does it take really to actually draw something or paint something? It shouldn't take really. Well, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't really talk, should I? I'm not.
Yes, go on. You carry on. We're listening. This is interesting.
Yeah, I know. I'm not exactly an actual artist, as in drawing. I might be an artist in some other respects.
What, drinking? Well, you do like your old speckled hen, don't you?
Yes, I have old speckled hen when that's available. We don't normally have much of it in Romford, so tonight I just have to have Lidl's own brand of fruit-based ciders.
Oh, right, yeah. Is that cheaper?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, about $1.50 a bottle or something like that.
Is that like a great big bottle or like a normal beer?
It's about a good. What has it got on here?
Is that like a litre and what is it? Litre and a half, something like that.
500 mils. So it's about.
I don't know what is that in pints, dear? Mils?
Well, I don't know.
What's that, mils?
You know your travel size Coke bottle.
It's like foreign. I don't understand these foreign measurements at all, dear.
Yeah, I know.
Continue.
Where's the trouble? That's what we grew up with in school. We grew up with. I can actually remember, like, for all the years of primary school, you had your what I call, well, like, I was to find out as well. That thing, the straight edge that you used to call it a ruler, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, by the time we got to about year 9 or something, this teacher had come in and someone mentioned ruler, and he said, it's not called a ruler, it's a rule.
A rule?
A ruler is, yeah. And actually now, 20 years later, I've just thought, well, actually, it can't even be a rule either, because that means... So I think we should just call it a measure.
Well, I didn't know that. We always called them rulers.
Yeah, I think they should just be called a measure. That's what it really is.
So what's the argument for that, then? A ruler would be like the Queen, I suppose, would she?
Yeah, exactly. That's what he was going on about, yes.
I think he was just being argumentative.
Oh, probably.
I think it's probably just being argumentative, you know.
In fact, actually, this is might be the same teacher, I think, who it was actually metal work, I remember.
Right.
And he was talking about furnaces.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he said, "Does anyone know what gas we use in a furnace?" And someone said, "Is it British gas?"
Did you do that metal work?
Yeah, we did. I was surprised they didn't have much.
Did you do the metal work where you have to make something with and then you put this powder on it, and then you have to go where the flame is and start flaming a thing, and it all melts on it and makes something pretty. I was terrified doing that. Terrified. I made this thing for my mum, right? And this was nothing special. It was just basically like I remember it, like a circular shape with holes cut in it. But, I made it, and that was the best I could do. And I put this powder on it, and I think we took it to some sort of flame or something like that. And I melted it on there. And I gave it to my mum, and I thought, oh, what is that? And my mum, being my mum, she quite proudly put it on a chain and put it round her neck, and she would wear that. And it was nothing special. This is what I've said so many times on this show. If you get something from a child It's very, very special. No matter how badly it's been made or drawn, it's very special. And she used to wear this thing around her neck. I don't know where it is now, actually. I don't know if my sister's got it, maybe. Did you do anything like that in the metal work? See, metal work, woodwork, I was no good at any of that. No good at any of it. Here's something really boring. You ready, Dan? Ready?
Oh, yeah.
Technical drawing. Oh, God. Technical drawing. How boring was that?
Yeah, which I suppose in your days just meant a set square and a pencil.
It just meant a what?
A set square and a pencil.
A set square and a pencil. That's exactly it. And they had the little half circles with all the little divisions on it. And that triangular thing was sitting there drawing these pictures. And I was no good at it, you see. Same as art. Yeah. Same as yourself. I wasn't very clever at school at all.
Yeah, there were just no computers, were there, at the time?
I've just been made aware of the fact that the people listening on the radio don't like the sound of me sucking a mint. Apparently that's pretty obvious. Here's the mints, Ross. Would you like one? They're from Aldi, not Tesco. I'm going to have another one just to annoy him now. Mint sucking doesn't sound very good on the radio, or indeed any sucking. You should not do sucking on the radio at all, I don't think. Anyway, carry on, Dan.
There's a time and place for that.
There is a time and a place, yes. Chariot sauna comes to mind. Anyway, carry on, yes, go on.
Actually, you say Ross Pack's Out last night. What a show that was.
It was an excellent show, wasn't it?
Yes, but I have to just put Paul Rank an issue with here a minute from last night. Because this is something I've been noticing over the last, 20-odd years or so.
Right.
It's the fact that young people, and I'll even say, well, people, let's say, as old as me or younger, that is, seem to believe that everything that passed for entertainment back in the 50s, 60s and 70s is absolute crap now.
That's right. And offensive. Unoffensive.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you can't, last night I mentioned the Goon Show, and you thought, it's so old. You know, I know it's old. But, here's the thing, just like Dad's Army, most of those stories were written in the past anyway.
And we lost the vicar this week, didn't we? The vicar from Dad's Army, he's died now. There's only one
Frank
left.
Williams.
Yeah, he died this week. Did you not know?
I hadn't heard. I thought he was...
Actually, I think it was the end of last week. He died last week, yeah. So there's only one left now, Ian Lavender. He's the last one.
Yeah, because there's a lot of them. I mean, so many of them in that were so... it's a bit of an age thing there, you know. It's like Clive Dunn as Jones. I mean, he was so young when he was just so good at playing old men. And it's just like... there's an actress, you know, Stephanie Cole.
No.
Yeah, well, we used to do... she was in Open All Hours as the Black Widow, Featherston.
Which one was she?
She played the Black Widow, Mrs. Featherston, Open All Hours, and that other great sitcom that everyone's forgotten about called Waiting for God in the 90s.
I don't remember that one.
You know, yeah, Waiting for God. It was a retirement home sitcom where you had, all these old people all against the management.
Right. What, of the old people's home?
Yeah.
Right.
And it was you could have called it Old People Behaving Badly.
Oh, believe me, they do. They do. You want to hear what some of the old dears say to me while I'm sitting at church with them?
Yeah, I suppose you're probably flicking bits of corn everywhere.
Yeah.
You really think you're in the cinema, don't you? You've been with the kids flicking bits of corn and all.
Yes.
And in fact, you did hear that bit of Goon Show I did last night, those great impressions of the...
I did. I've never listened to the Goon Show. It doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah, it
was extremely popular, very popular program. But then television came along.
Yeah, I mean the fact that you could be in a room in one country and walk into go through a door, and then you're in a room in another country.
One of my favourite people, Spike Milligan of years gone by, his favourite line, my favourite line from him was, "I just want to give you this thought."
Yes.
Get it?
Yes.
Do you ever do any thinking at all, Dan?
Do I ever do any thinking?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I have a think about twice every hour.
Do you? Yes. Don't overdo it too much.
Oh no, I shouldn't do. A bit too much thinking is a bit of a dangerous thing.
So how did you get on at school exams, Dan? Was that a bit of a failure?
What you mean, as in results-wise?
Yeah, no, just sitting there doing the damn things. Don't worry about the results.
I will admit, I did do my best. I did what I could do.
Yes.
But if it was just too brain bleeding, then I just couldn't do it. But this was actually before ADHD was discovered.
Right.
And so, and as Mum always said, if only your diagnosis had been actually during school time, things could have been a bit different.
I found it incredibly boring going there, and I always remember that let me think. I think it was the maths one. Well, no, it wasn't just the maths one. There was loads of them, where they said, "Okay, your time starts now," and you turn over the first piece of paper. And you turn over the second piece, and the third piece, and the fourth piece, the whole booklet of blooming examination questions. And then I put my head in my hands and thought, I don't know any of this. I remember that, and that happened more than once. I hated it. Absolutely hated sitting in that big old silent hall in our uniforms, writing out stuff. And I wasn't very intelligent. I only got 2 O-levels, and they were grade Cs. Physics and English, that's all I got.
There was O-levels in them days,
yes,
wasn't it?
I got unclassified.
It wasn't GCSEs.
I got unclassified for music, religious education, geography, maths was E, biology I got a grade 2 GCSE because we were doing GCSEs and O-levels. So I got the grade, and that was really all I got. So physics and English O-levels, which were passes. A, B and C were passes. I got C's for those, physics and English, right? And then for biology, I think I got a grade 2 GCSE, and that was about all I got. And I stayed on for the sixth. I stayed on another year for the sixth form, which was a complete and utter waste of time. But I was scared to go out into the world, so I wanted to stay at school to put it off for as long as possible. Yeah.
You actually wanted to go and just stay on at school?
Well, I didn't really want to stay at school. I just didn't want to go out into the open world. It scared me. It frightened me.
But hey, listen, I've had an idea. You've just mentioned music.
If this is an offer to invest money, I'm sorry, I don't invest money in anything.
Oh no,
I
wouldn't dare do any of that. But you said music. I've had an idea. You are actually on Reach at the moment, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, how you could get around this, YouTube copyright. Shite. Here's an idea. Now you've got a music keyboard, haven't you?
Yes.
Haven't you ever thought about moving that into the actual Mirrorball studio, and then every so often, soon as you get the urge, you could just, go play us a song, and then we've actually then got music.
Well, I don't know how well that would go down, dear.
Oh, I think we did very well.
I mean, if they started playing music on LBC or talk radio, you'd soon get fed up. People listen to that just to hear talking. I don't have music on the way home from my venues. I have talking on, and that's getting a bit difficult to find now. The one I used to listen to, I mentioned before, Nick Abbott, he's just too lefty for me now. And he still goes on about Brexit and Trump, on and on about it all the time. He's so lefty, it's unbelievable. And he used to be very funny. So I don't really like listening to him anymore. Which is a shame because he was very entertaining. And then you try talk radio, and there's not much going on there at that time of night. Radio 5 Live, well, that's a bit... I don't like that either. There is GB News Talk... Is that GB News? They simulcast their TV program. There's not a lot to listen to at night, but now and again you flick across and it might be something interesting. But I wouldn't want to listen to music. I don't think I'd want to do music on this programme, really. It's a talk show, that's why it is. We used to run a talk show, actually, a talk radio station, United Kingdom Radio, it's called. Ross was on there. And
so is that where United Kingdom Talk comes from?
Yeah. No, United Kingdom Talk was first, and has been. And somewhere around the middle, I did this United Kingdom Radio, and I got together a few people, and they all did their talking thing, and now and again you get a new one come up and say, and they'd say, "Oh, can I just play a couple of records?" Well, no, it's a talk station. That's what we do. If you want to listen to a radio station that plays music, there's millions of them. Listen to one of those. Why do you try and change something that's already doing something? Why are you trying to change that? See what I mean?
Yes. But it's a shame. You could have given us the odd quickie.
I beg your pardon. Excuse me, Daniel. I'm not that sort of... And at that point, I'm cutting you off for being so rude. Goodbye.
Oh.
How rude. Did you hear him give me a quickie? Oh, goodbye, Daniel. Thank you very much.
Give me. I know. I said give up.
Goodbye. Give me a quickie. I've heard it all now. How rude, Daniel. A line is free now. There's one there. Hello, who's calling in, please?
Hello, it's Johnny F.
Hello, Johnny F. All right?
I'm good. How are you?
Did you hear him? Can I give you a quickie? Did you hear that?
I heard that, mate.
That's rude. That is Johnny F. It's Johnny F. from Reach on Air. When are you going to save up and buy a sung jingle, Johnny F?
You look absolutely beautiful on my 65-inch television.
Do you know what, Johnny? I know that without you even telling me that. I know that already. I have a lovely big monitor in front of me, and the reason I sometimes miss so many of the text messages and emails is because I like to look at myself. And even better than that, when I'm walking up to the swimming pool or driving to work, do you know what I love to do in my car? Listen to my own shows. There's nothing like it.
I know, because you get stuff out when you slip up.
What's that about slipping in?
No, I'm not talking about...
God, blimey. First Dan and now you. What's wrong with you all tonight? You must be all bleeding desperate. Listen, there's a sad old get in a room on his own. What are you ringing in for, Johnny F? School, yes, please, yes.
No, I used to be segregated from my exams into a room on my own.
Was you a bad person?
Absolutely, mate.
Just a moment. Let me just have a little word with someone that I know. Mandy Davenport. Yeah, we need someone here. A bit of pain and suffering, please. Yeah, he's been naughty at school. Oh. There you go. Thank you, Mandy. There you go. Thanks for your messages. I'll come to those in a moment, boys and girls. Anyway, Johnny, yeah, go on. Tell me, why were you segregated? Were you caught cheating?
Well, I was hardly at school anyway. I was always skipping school. I used to go in for early morning registration and then go round to somebody's house and play cards and listen to music and all that sort of stuff.
Did you smoke?
Then go back for next registration.
Did you smoke at their house?
I smoked.
I knew you'd say that.
Strip poker, everything.
Were you one of those kids that had Bacardi in your Coca-Cola bottle when you went on school trips?
Absolutely. Sitting at the back of the coach.
I know you so well, and I've never even met you. How funny is that?
Oh dear.
So you were segregated.
We skipped school. We skipped school and went round to a guy's house. Paul Monaghan, his name was.
Yeah.
And there was 5 blokes and 4 girls, and we played strip poker, listening to Barry Manilow albums, and we all ended up naked. Semi-naked, and we all disappeared into bedrooms, and then there was only one guy that was left, bless him, on his own, sitting on the stairs.
Was that you, Johnny F?
With himself. And then his mother walked in. The guy's house, his mother walked in. All the clothes all over the floor. A guy called Anthony playing with himself on the stairs.
Oh my God!
Said, I leave my house at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God!
At 11 to be seen that it's been used as a brothel. Oh. Get out!
How old were you all then?
15, 14,
Oh
15.
my God, blimey. I've heard it all now. No, I was very, I didn't do anything like that, I'm afraid. I mean, the only time I used to skip school was in the 5th year, games. I hated games. I hated it. Football, no, we didn't do football. Rugby in the winter and tennis and running in the summer, and I hated it. And in the 5th year, on the very first week, because that's when they make all the registers, and on the first week I just didn't go, which meant after that I couldn't go anyway because I wouldn't be on the register. And I literally, and to get out of the school, I literally had to walk past the headmaster's back window. Right?
Oh dear.
And I did that for a year, and I never got caught. And we used to get on the train, go back to Putney Bridge Station. There was a calf. It was a bit like that calf on Dragon's... no. Is it Dragon's Den? No. The Apprentice. Bit like that cafe on The Apprentice. We used to come out the station, go over to the cafe and sit there for a couple of hours before we went home. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Were you very... Do you class yourself as very intelligent at school or not, Johnny?
No, I was one of the lads.
Right. Did you pass any...
I'd go around the back of the school. I'd go around the back of the school playground.
Yes.
To the sort of like the bit where you banned from during break times, and
smoke.
Sort of like say to the girls and the boys, "Kiss a fag, and I'll show you my one-eared elephant."
No, please don't say these things, darling. We are a live program with small people watching these. Dear me. Did you pass any exams at all?
Yeah, I did actually. I passed music O level.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
It's the only one.
Okay. That was what we used to do, classical music. I'll tell you the two pieces we did. Fauré's Requiem
Okay.
and the Master Singers.
Well, I couldn't play an instrument, so they said to me that I could use my voice as an instrument because I
Right.
used to sing in the school band.
Right.
And they made me sing for my exam. It was a song called I Wonder as I Wander. And it was a real hard piece to sing because it was played on a piano to something completely different.
Right.
And they graded you on your the voice staying in tune throughout the whole song.
Well, I'm very, very pleased that you mentioned that now. And live here now on United Kingdom Talk and Reach on Air, Johnny F is about to perform that song just for you. Off you go.
Oh, I think it went something like this. I wonder as I wander from out of the sea, how Jesus our Saviour was sent to be for all of God's children like you and like me. I wonder as I wander out under the sea.
Well, how did you pass with that? Congratulations,
Mate,
Johnny F. For the round of applause,
I was
everyone.
a bit better in the day.
Round of applause. Well, that sounded all right. Well done, sir. That was nicely in tune. Look forward to you singing then on Friday night.
There you go.
Do you know what you're going to sing?
I'm not too sure yet.
Okay. It's a little bit too busy for me to come round and talk to people, unfortunately, but I'll try and pop down at some point.
I'll have a packet of crisps for you, Chris.
Cheese and onion walkers only, please.
No problem. Take care.
Thank you, Johnny. Thanks for calling in. Bye-bye now. There we are, Johnny F. That's the first time I've spoken to him there. I know a lot of you listen to his show at Reach on Air. Gary Ross says, any mints? Yes, I've had a few mints now. Ross Patzel doesn't like me sucking the mints on the show, apparently. Thank you very much. Vera, you've gone off air on the radio show. It could be my end. Probably because you've got trouble with your internet, haven't you? Vera's had a bit of trouble with her internet this week. Thank you very much, Vera. Right, let's have a look here. Fagash Lil says, show for you, Chris Cooke's Basic Veg Indian. I can teach you. Thank you, Fagash Lil. We like Indian smelling food. I love it. The smell that you get going past a tandoori restaurant is unbelievable. Hello to Queenie. Good evening to Queenie, who says, one would like to say, I like your jacket you are wearing. Does it by any chance have a silver lining? Sadly not. It is white. A white lining on the jacket there, Queenie. Hope your programme brings in all my graceful viewers who might be at this moment parked up in their limos having a little break with tea and scones. I was going to say that might well be Ross Pat's out from Reach on Air, Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock, Reach on Air. But unlikely, he's a sausage roll man. He's a sausage roll man. That's when you hear Ross play a couple of records back to back, he's usually having another sausage roll or opening another can of lager. Yes, thank you. Paul in Ashford, good evening to Paul, who's joining us late this evening. Good evening, Paul. Better late than never. Better late than never. Unless, of course, it's antibiotics, in which case I recommend you take them on time every time. Otherwise, they won't work, all right? Stephen Dagenham says, I got an A for my music exam. Well done, Steve. To which my dad was very pleased. The only thing he didn't realise it was because I was absent. Well, A for absent, more like. Very good. Good evening to Paul in Cornwall. Evening, Paul. And hello to Greg. Evening, Greg. All right, welcome along to our little Wednesday night show. He might phone in one day, whenever you're ready, Greg. Phone lines open now. 020 8144 3477 is my local London phone number. Remember that, gang. If you want to call that, it's just a local London number. It's not a premium rate or anything like that. There's none of this £2.50 a minute or anything like that. It's just a normal local phone call. Hello to the Dark Side. Evening to the Dark Side, who says that if you haven't, check out Mark Wines. That's MARK space WIENS. Anyone else who's interested, Mark Wines. Wines, WIENS, Wines on YouTube does amazing reviews on that type of food. So thanks so much to the Dark Side there. Mandy has dyslexia. I have that with numbers, Mandy, believe it or not. Yeah, sometimes I switch numbers around, which is bad news if I owe someone money, you know. £25 becomes £52 and costs me a lot more, doesn't it? Gary Ross. Oh, where are we now? I used to get sent to the store doing double maths to get rid of me for an hour and a half. Good luck for you. Double maths. Oh, now there's something useful, completely useless that I learned. Algebra. Well, I say I didn't learn it because I couldn't. It wouldn't work in my brain. I said to you this before, all these people, there's so many people out there, you can learn anything. No, I don't think you can. I honestly don't think you can learn anything. How comes I can't do algebra, all that stuff I did at school? And believe me, I wasn't like Johnny F. I wasn't really a bad boy or anything like that. I sat there in my lessons and listened. I just couldn't learn it. French, I can do a tiny little bit of schoolboy French. I wouldn't be able to go on to France, and rely on my French to get me around, because it wouldn't. I'd be able to tell you to open the window and shut your mouth, but that's about it. I couldn't learn stuff at school. I couldn't draw with a pen. I couldn't paint anything. I was crap at PE. I was not good at school. And I went to a really good school. The one thing it did teach me there was discipline and how to respect other people, which is lacking these days, as you well know. But exam-wise, I hated exams. Hated it. Because I knew I was going to come out badly. Couldn't wait to get out of that room, I tell you. Just scroll up a little bit here. See what we've missed there. I think you're talking to each other there. Mandy took a GCSE and got all as A's and B's. The only exam I failed on purpose was science, and that's because I hated the teacher and he hated me after I broke his nose. That kind of makes sense to me, Mandy, for some reason. Mandy goes around smashing him in the mouth. Evening to my sister, that's Shaz B there. Shaz B's in the house. Good evening to Sharon. All right. Lily got straight A's in all the classes, total 1,000 exams. Funny, isn't it? Funny how that works there. Lily, have to say, early on in the year I found a lot of... Oh, we've done that one. And Chris was saying about the insects. I think your lack of bugs has to do with the fact you're using soap when you shower. Of course I use soap when I shower. Of course I do. Nice and clean. I don't use the shower here much. I use the one at the swimming pool. I get up in the morning, have my breakfast, do the radio show, walk up to the swimming pool, have my swim, and then I have my daily shower. Every day I have a shower. You got to, haven't you? Evening to Clive, who's listening at Reach on Air. Evening to you, Clive. Phone lines open, 020 8144 3477. I'll give you another thing to talk about in a moment. Liam's watching on his TV. He likes the jacket. Thank you very much, Liam. That was about £25 off Amazon. There's also, what's it called now? Is it Alibaba? AliExpress? Some Chinese firm and you order stuff from there. If you type in novelty blazers or just blazers, you'll be able to. There's a very large selection of this sort of stuff. I've got several. I've got about 15 jackets now, all different ones. Some of them, there's a couple of expensive ones there. Most of them are sort of around the £25-30 mark. You know, I've just bought them really to do this show. When I was doing this show, I used to do this show every morning. Literally every morning except Sunday, I think it was. We did Monday to Saturday an hour, which turned into 2 hours. But it all got a bit much, to be honest. And then I stopped doing it completely. Then I picked up the radio with Ross Patzel's advice, and I've been there nearly 2 years now doing my little radio show in the morning. I love it. Absolutely love it. Reachonair.com. You can join us tomorrow morning, 9 till 10. I'll be on the radio. Reachonair.com. Listen on your smart speaker or your mobile phone. Just say to your Amazon device, Amazon, that word, right? Amazon, play radio station, Reach on Air, and she'll start playing it. It's very good, very good. Gary got a cheap football top from one of those websites, £12 each. They really are. It's either Alibaba or hang on, let me see if I can find it for you. AliExpress or Alibaba. It's usually an email in their promotions things here somewhere. Oh, of course there isn't one today. I want to see one, is there? Perhaps it's in this. There we are, AliExpress. AliExpress it's called. AliExpress. Have a little look on that. And there's loads of stuff on there, whether it's clothes, and you get backdrops off there, just like this one. My sister was saying perhaps I should change that now. I really like that backdrop I've got behind me. It's like, in the jungle, the mighty jungle. By the way, gang, solar lights. I've bought various solar lights, and I'm sure one or two of you have over the years, and they've been really useless. There's one solar light out of all those I've bought over the years that still works. I say one, I've got two of them. One's up at the Luxury Waterside Media Centre, otherwise known as the Caravan, okay? And one's here, and they still work, but they don't work in winter because there's not enough sun. But I've spent a bit of money on two solar lights. One I finished putting up today, and I will blow me down, right? I put it up, and I managed to get the holes in the wall. The bracket went up, and it's straight because I used that little thing with a bubble in it. It was the bubble stick, I call it. What's that called? You know that long bit of metal with a little bubble in it, and then you move it, and then when the bubble's in the middle, you know it's straight. I put it up with that, drilled the holes in the wall, correct size, put the raw plugs in, screwed them in nice and tight, put the bracket on, the lights up, and it's all working. Thank you very much. Yes, Chris Reardon, DIY expert. Anyway, so that one's already up, but I've got another one delivered today. Now, these were not cheap. Okay, this one I'm going to show you now is £70. I'll describe it for those of you that are listening. Your note, here it is there. Right, so here's the light itself. Hang on a minute, don't want to pull the wire off. Hang on a minute, just a minute. What I'm holding here is a high quality solar light. This was, hang on, let me bring up the price here. This was £69. It's tenner off at the moment. Usually 69, something like that. No, it's 20 quid off at the moment. Okay, that's the lamp there. It's very, very bright. It's already charged up. Okay, right. You see, that's really very, very bright, that light. If I look into that lamp, I'll get the black dots in my eyes for ages. So it's very bright. It's all metal. Okay, none of the plastic rubbish that you get off the Amazon. It's got a little PRI sensor in it. Now, the PRIR sensor detects when someone moves in front of it, and it will come on for a given time, from 30 seconds up to 2 minutes. It's got little buttons on it somewhere. I can't find the buttons now. Where are they? Where's those buttons gone? There were some buttons on here. Are there not buttons on here? Oh, well, the other one's got buttons on it. This one doesn't seem to have them on there. I bet they're on here somewhere, and I just can't see them. Anyway, on the other one I've got, which is already up, it's got buttons that you adjust it. So it can come on for 30 seconds or 2 minutes, and then it goes off again. So that's one end of it. And you'll know if you've bought solar lights for the garden or things like that, they don't come in two parts, and they're a bit plastic. And they've got this tiny little solar panel on the top, haven't they? You know, they are bloody useless. They shouldn't sell them. They're just a complete and utter waste of money, those solar lights. But this is a security one, so it comes in two parts. You've got the light with the sensor. You also got a solar panel. Now, this is enormous. Right. Here's the solar panel, which is about... It's got to be about 18 inches tall. There you can see it next to my head. It's about 18 inches tall and about 10 inches across. I bought a bracket for it as well because it's going on a pole. Okay, the bracket was separate. The bracket was £25, that. Okay, so that goes on a pole. That's not quite ready to put up yet. I've got to get a smaller nut and bolt you want to put this up with. Okay, although it's positioned sort of fairly flat, it will still pick up the wind a little bit. I mean, if it was like that, it'd take the full force of the wind if it was like flat against the wind, but it's not. So it's like that. So this is big. You can either put it on the wall. It comes with its own brackets to put it on the wall, or if you want to put it on a pole, you have to buy that separately from another company. They don't sell the things to put on poles. But you can see how big that is, yeah? And these are recommended for UK weather. All right? As I say, if you've seen some of this stuff on Amazon, generally you get a little light and there's a little plastic bit on top and a very small solar panel. So the solar panel that comes with that is about... I would say 10 times bigger than the ones that you'd get. Okay? And the idea of that is it picks up more light even if there's no sun and can still charge the battery, particularly in this country during the winter. So that's another little job that I've got to do and put that up. And the reason I bought these is because I used to have lights all around my house at night come on. But with the electricity prices and all that, I turn them off. They don't come on anymore at all, unless I physically turn them on and off. All the timers have been switched off on those because it's just costing. Well, I didn't know how much money. If I told you, I mentioned this on the show before, I've actually gone round looking at stuff that's plugged in all the time. Computer monitors, for example, just because they're off on the monitor, if you haven't switched those off at the plug and there's a transformer, which is highly likely there is, that transformer is still sucking electricity out of your wall. I have smart plugs in this little studio now. They're connected to each other, so when I say the word computers off, immediately power is cut to the two sockets that run everything in here, and it's no longer drawing electricity, and that saves me, are you ready for this, about 40 to 50 watts an hour. That's a considerable saving. And my electricity bill, my prices, the amount I pay each month has gone down from 103 to 73. Or it will do when I decide to put it down. They've advised me now to reduce my monthly payment from 103 to 73 by doing all these little things, turning off my lights, turning off and everything else around the house. Everything that I don't use now has either a little smart plug, which I say turn that off. Television as well, television and soundbar. That's on a sound on a plug like that. Everything goes completely off at the power socket. There's probably one of you two saying, well, how much electricity do the little plugs use? About less than half a watt. Nothing, really. Nothing to write home about at all. But that makes it quite dark in the garden now. And I am surrounded here by spiky bushes. Over the years, I planted them in outside my fence. And you'd have real trouble getting there. But still, I like a bit of light out there when I'm passing. So that's why I bought the solar lamps. And as I say, I've tried cheap ones before and they're just useless. So these ones, that one I've got there was £70, and the smaller one is £60, which I've got round the side. And the panel is slightly smaller than that. So just wanted to share that piece of information with you. And they came from a company called The Solar Centre. If you want to have a look, thesolarcentre.co.uk. All right, solarcentre.co.uk. If you order anything, when it comes in a post, you'll be surprised at the quality of the item. It's all metal. No plastic on there. All right, my darlings. Paul in Ashford said, have you lost weight? You look slimmer and healthier. I don't know. I actually, do you know what I mean? I've cut myself, haven't I? Oh, you're very good not to mention that today. A little cut there, shaving. Look, can you see that? Little cut there, shaving. Oh, you got there. It's there. So, I don't know. I don't think so. Actually, I'd climbed a couple of pounds last week for some reason. I haven't weighed myself this week yet. No, not yet. I have, since the beginning of Lent, managed to stay off completely bread, except when Maureen brings me in her lovely sandwiches. The only day I have bread is a Friday. You could, of course, class pizza as bread as well, I suppose, if we think about it. But slices of bread, I only have those once a week now on a Friday, and that's it. So maybe that's something to do with it. Paul says, at comprehensive school, I skipped sports and got the key to the computer room from the deputy headmaster. Was a good move. I ended up with a good 30-year career in computers. Well done, Paul. See, we never had a computers in our school. We didn't have computers. 1970s. I left school 1979, I think it was. There were no computers at school. Not even in the offices. It was filing cabinets. A filing cabinet never crashed, did it, eh? Vera, you should do a costume change like Diana Ross. Do you want me to? She wants me to do a blooming costume change now, do you? Oh, dear. Let's up. There you go. Lily Shambles, hope it works for you. We have been through many of those solar lights, but they all failed due to animals and rodents. Gary Ross has got some solar lights. Dark side, I think they think electric cars are the way forward. I'm learning horse riding while it's still cheap. My sister's doing some of that at the moment. She's doing a little bit of horse riding. She's got four goes. She's done one so far last Friday, which she did very much. And the horse's name is Woody. Woody the horse. Beautiful looking horse. Hang on, I've got a picture here. And I'll describe him to you. Woody the horse. Where's the info now? Here it is. I'm just thinking, if I don't suppose any of the Reach on Air management are listening, but if we used to have the old method of charging, the PRS charging for every single track we played, I'd be saving you a fortune tonight. Can I have a refund for my £4.95, please? There's my sister's horse. Beautiful thing it was. Brown, beautiful brown horse. Quite I suppose, I don't know if it's a large horse or not. Yeah, it looks a fairly large horse. And it's got a little black thing on it. And its name is Woody, and my sister rode on that last Friday. I assume that she gets the same horse all the time. I don't know how that works. Anyone else like horse riding? Great niece Evie loves horse riding. Oh, she loves it. She has a lesson every week. She's been doing that for months now. Stephen Dagenham loves the Steve Allen LBC tray that I've got behind me. That was a gift from Maureen, actually. I've got behind me in the studio a little plastic tray. Steve Allen tray, and he's on LBC in the morning. One of the best talk show hosts ever. Says, thank you for supporting Global's Make Some Noise. And I think he had these made. And that does actually look like Steve Allen. He's a bald chap with glasses, camp as a Christmas tree. And I met him once purely by accident in Vermeulen's garden centre. This is a few years ago now. I'd been listening to him on the radio talking about this garden centre that he loved, Vermeulen's. So I thought I'd go down there with my mate. And the weird thing is, in the back of my mind, I was hoping to bump into him, you know. And I'd often sent him in little messages on his show and all that. And as I'm walking around, I heard this voice. And I thought, oh my God, that's Steve Allen. And I walked along the next, and there he was. I said, you're Steve, aren't you? And he said, yes. He said, I'm Chris Reardon. He said, oh, yes. Oh, it's nice to put a name to the face. And we walked round, and him and me and my mate just chatting away as we got these things. And he got into his Bentley. A lovely Bentley car he's got. So that was quite nice to meet one of your heroes like that, wasn't it? Shall we move on to something else? Plants for keeping flies out of your house. Oh, we've got a call coming in. That's an anonymous call. I'm afraid you need to send your number if you want to call in, okay? I only take phone calls sending in numbers, because what tends to happen is that people just bang the phone down several times and it just becomes a bit boring. All right, so if you want to call in, you must send your number. The phone line is still open, 020 8144 3477. No withheld or anonymous calls, please, all right? Daily Mirror reports here. Do you have a problem with flies in the house at all? I get that. That's the one thing we still have, flies. I've got a lot of flies. They keep flying in a blooming window, just nothing else. Like green flies or as Lily said, ladybirds, things like that. I haven't really seen any of those. Flies are still coming in. But there's a way to keep the flies out of your house. Now, I never knew this. I've got the old can of fly spray, which I have to say is extremely efficient. Now, it says kills on contact. If you see a fly flying around, you get... Psst, and this thing... And it's dead on the floor. Very quick. You kind of wonder what it's doing to your own lungs, don't you, really? Cleaning experts have revealed in the Daily Mirror a little-known tip to keep pesky flies out of your home while enjoying a welcoming breeze through your windows. The helping hand comes from nature, with the smell from one simple houseplant enough to ensure the nuisance visitors buzz off. And after reading this, right, in the next couple of days, I will actively go and do this, and I'll report back to you, okay? Basil. Basil, the basil plant, and that's a lovely smell, isn't it? You know when you buy those herbs as plants? Rosemary is another one that comes to mind. Rosemary, basil plants is another one. What's the other herb that people grow? I can't remember now. There's another lovely smelling herb. Can't remember. Anyone remember that? Let us know. 020 8144 3477 to call in, or you can text in your message 07451 287 337. If you're listening on Reach On Air, feel free to use the Reach On Air message system and send in your message like that, okay? Basil repels flies as they hate the strong smell. So by putting a pot of basil on your windowsill, flies are less likely to come into your home. This is reported in Dublin Live. Well, I never knew that, did you? I've heard the one that conquers, if you put conkers in the corners of doors where your door frame is, you know, each side, that's supposed to stop spiders coming in. I don't know if that works or not. I could do with some of those at the caravan. Oh my God, you want to see the size of spiders that come into the luxury Waterside Media Centre? The first thing I ever do when I go to my caravan is I come out my car with my bags, I drop the bags in, all the lights go on, and I immediately do a spider search. First thing I ever do. Right? And then if it's cold, which it can be, because I usually get there about 2:30 in the morning. If it's cold, I'll then turn on my heating, which is the air conditioning. It does heat as well, you see. And then while it comes on, I will wait by the air conditioning unit to see if a spider crawls out. And believe me, it's happened twice. Not little spiders, not the ones with tiny little bodies and great long legs. Big, fat, black spiders. Evil. The funny thing is, you know, this air conditioning comes on, right? And the spider doesn't run. It walks quite slowly away from it and then just sits there on the wall. It's not like it's bothered by you, which I find worrying, you see. Yeah, if that spider isn't bothered by you, what is it about to do? That is the question. It might crawl into my mouth at night. I don't want foreign objects crawling into my mouth at night without me knowing about it. Thank you very much. I mean, all those legs, it's not a natural thing, is it, a spider? A few times a year, the doors of hell open somewhere in the world. And out come spiders and scorpions and snakes. And then they close again for a while. And we have to get them all while they're out. Anyway, it says basil repels flies. They hate the strong smell. Put some on your windowsill. Mint, that's the other one. Mint is also said to keep flies away, which is available in supermarkets for less than £2. You want a mint plant, really? I used to have mint growing in the garden. I pulled it all up one year and it never come back. That's a good thing to have, isn't it? A little pot of mint, and then you can use it in your cooking. You can also pick up a lot of basil in Aldi for just 67 pence, while Tesco's charge £1.30 for a medium-size basil or mint pot. And I would transfer them into larger pots and keep growing them. You can use them in your cooking and all that, can't you? Hey. It says the cleaning expert at Tape Tap Warehouse have revealed how to prevent flies from lingering around your kitchen this summer. Polly Shearer, cleaning expert, explains the heat causes an increase in flies and means that house flies are much more likely to multiply in hot weather. This could see tens of thousands of flies buzzing around barbecues and kitchens this summer. We recommend using preventative measures to stop flies and insects breeding in your kitchen this summer. Here's some more tips. Number 1, make your own natural fly deterrent spray. Flies hate the smell of essential oils such as lemongrass, lavender and mint. I quite like tea tree oil. Do you like that smell? I've got that in my foot spa. Who's got a foot spa? Have you got one? I've got tea tree oil for mine. It's lovely. It says add lemongrass, lavender and mint to some water and then use it as a spray. Lavender is the perfect choice as it also leaves a fresh smell in the room. Yes, I must say I had 3 cats altogether. Well, one of them kept weeing in this plant pot. The trouble is sometimes she missed and it ended up on the carpet. And I could smell this cat, and it took me ages to discover it. And one day I was watching the telly, and I suddenly heard this water. I looked over, and she was weeing on the carpet. And have you ever tried to get the smell of cat wee out of a carpet? Very difficult. Very, very difficult to do that. Right? And I went to the pet shop, and I bought. I mean, obviously, I cleaned the carpet. I got one of those carpet cleaning machines. What make is that now? Can't remember. It's a well-known brand of carpet cleaning machines, and it worked to a point, but I just couldn't get rid of the smell. And I bought this very, very strong lavender spray from the pet shop, and that worked. That worked. And it was a lovely smell, to be honest. Actually, I might get some more of that, just for the smell of it. It says, be sure store fizzy drinks in your fridge. Wipe any spills immediately. Oh, they love it. A sticky drink. Wasps everywhere, dear. Don't leave dirty dishes by the sink. Use apple cider vinegar to deter fruit flies. Keep your kitchen bin dry with baking soda. Keep leftovers fully sealed in storage bags and tubs. Well, you shouldn't have leftovers. If you're not going to eat it, don't blooming buy it. How many times do I tell you? Food waste is very, very bad. Very bad indeed. Okay. Paul in Ashford says... if they have to be known in advance, how do you get those heavy breather calls? Not had one of those in decades. Well, I don't get them because I don't take withheld numbers anymore at all. Not at home or on the radio show. It's just pointless. If I take an anonymous number, it'll probably just, put the phone straight down, and they do that 5 or 6 times. Now they can't do it anymore because if you send your number, if you muck around, I just block the number then, and then that's the end of it. So that's cured all those problems in one go. Hello to Ben. Hello to Ben, who says love the channel, Chris, and he's in Devon. Thank you very much, Ben. Very kind of you to say so. Ben watching the show tonight. Hello to you, Den. Thank you very much. Devon Ben. Devon Ben. We'll call you Devon Ben, I think. Thank you, Ben. And Shania's there on the Isle of Wight. A very good evening to Shania. If you're listening on Reach on Air, don't forget you can call in 020-8144-3477. Do you get flies in your house at all, by the way? Do you? What do you do? Have you just got the spray? I'm actually quite good at catching flies as well in a piece of tissue paper again, because they start banging their heads against the window, don't they? I mean, how stupid are flies? I mean, they must be even thicker than some of the people I know. They perfectly fly in through the same window, through one window, and they can't get out that same window. They've forgotten how they got in. They must have like memories of like a second, mustn't they? They fly in the window, and then they spend the next 2 hours banging their heads against the window and going up and down, buzzing everywhere. Very annoying creatures. All right. Have you got a holiday booked anywhere? Anyone going on holiday anywhere? Ross says ganja. No, dear. You're obsessed with that marijuana stuff, aren't you? Do you smoke that, do you? Oh, I can't bear the smell. Let me just check the chat box. Lily got thyme and sage. Thank you very much. Thyme and sage. That's it. Thyme and sage. They're two other things that you can grow, aren't they? Lily once got bitten by a false widow. Nasty. Gary Ross likes spiders. Well, that's really weird, Gary. I don't know anyone that likes spiders. Some people, they keep them as pets. Why, oh why, would you want to keep a man-eating spider in a cage or a glass thing? Tarantulas? You see on TikTok, people have got pet spiders and they're crawling all over them and their face. Oh, God, though. There's something seriously wrong with you. How can you like spiders? No. Not here, thank you very much. Gary Ross doesn't like slugs. Love putting salt on them when I find them in the back. Oh, you cruel man. And watching them wither away. Nephew Jimmy liked to do that when he was a little boy. I bet he's the sort of person that would teach his son to do that, who is incidentally 9 months old now. Baby Frank is 9 months old. Yes. Okay. Right, where are we going now? Right, we're talking about holidays now, aren't we? Have you got any holidays booked at all anywhere? I've got a little holiday to Scotland. That's happening at the end of October because my niece is up there at the moment. She's married to an RAF bloke and they're living in Lossiemouth. So I'm going up there by plane. British Airways is about 80 quid return, I think it was, which I thought was quite reasonable. The train is £300 return, so we certainly won't be going by train. It's crazy, isn't it? We're talking about that a few times, haven't we? I'm not paying £300, not when I can fly for 80 quid. And that's British Airways. You could do actually at the time I wanted to go, I checked the EasyJet flights and that was £22.50 each way, so it's £45. Huh? Why would you go by train? It's mad. That being said, on my birthday next year, right, I will be able to purchase a train. What's it called? An old people's pensioners pass or something. I don't know what it is. £17 for the year gets you a load of money off train fares. And that same journey, which at the moment I have to pay £300 for, turned into 120 quid because I put it in with the card. That's worth having, isn't it? So I've got that booked. Also, it's looking like I might be going to Euro Disney this year. Again, probably in October, because those of you that have been with the show a long time will know that I took my nephew and his... years ago, I took my sister and her husband and the 3 children, Tracy, Gary and Jimmy, to Euro Disney. And on the last day there, we were waiting to get the coach back or on the train, and I was saying to these 3 children, when you have your families, I want to be able to do the same for you. All right? And that's happened for Gary. Years later, I took Gary and his family. It was Gary and Stacey. There was Evie, Harry and Olivia, who's sadly no longer with her. May she rest in peace. And we all had a good time. It was a bit cold. It's a bit expensive buying food and all that. You know, that was expensive. So that one's happened. And then I was supposed to take Tracy and her family 2 years ago, but literally, the holiday was cancelled 2 days before we were due to go because of the Euro Disney closing down for coronavirus. And then I got a big a refund and been waiting ever since now. And she rang me the other day, and apparently great niece Emily, who's one of Tracy's children, they had to do a bucket list. At which point I said to her, "What, she not well then?" Now, apparently they do a bucket list for when they're on school holidays, summer holidays, and at the top of her list says, want to go to Disney with Uncle Chris. All right? And I said, well, August, that's a little bit close. She said, what about October? So I looked at October. Excuse me, can I just blow my nose? Just a minute. Blimey, it's 20 to 10 already, isn't it? So I said to her, can you? What's the next holiday? Oh, that would be in October. So I've been looking at October, and it looks probably, I think, possibly that we're going October. But I did tell her if you go in the winter, you get the added advantage of having all the Disney Christmas decorations up. So I'm not quite sure what she's going to do yet, but we're in communication now, so might be looking forward to doing that. But have you got a holiday booked at all? Where are you going? Perhaps you'd like to call in and tell me about it. 020 8144 3477. Doesn't have to be anything, like on a plane. Perhaps you're just going camping in, I don't know, on the south coast or something like that, in a tent, maybe with the scouts or whatever. If you're a young person, if you've still got your tent after you've been to Glastonbury, because most of them leave all the stuff behind, don't they? I was listening to the telly about this the other day. Apparently, everyone who goes to Glastonbury has to sign something to say that they will take all their rubbish home. Have you seen it? They don't. They leave the lot there, tents as well. This is how poor they are when they're going on and say we've got no money, and yet they can quite happily afford to leave a £40 tent there. I mean, at least give it to a charity shop or something like that. What a terrible waste. Most of it goes in the landfill. What a terrible waste that is. Good quality tents that other people... Well, perhaps you could send them abroad to poor people who've got no houses. I don't say that as a joke. They'd be very happy to receive a tent for nothing, wouldn't they? If they got nowhere to live. Madness. Anyway, so that's where I'm going. Definitely Scotland. Maybe, probably Euro Disney as well. Are you going anywhere? I must warn you... though, please make sure you do all your washing before you leave, okay? Can we have clean clothes in the suitcases before you go away? There's a story in the Daily Mail that popped up yesterday. Suitcases, they've got a bit of a problem at Heathrow Airport and some of the other airports as well, as you well know at the moment. Suitcases have been left piling up high at Heathrow Airport for 10 days and are starting to stink. That's dirty people with their dirty clothes, isn't it? It can't be the people who are going away. That's got to be the cases that are coming back from holidays. Because let's be honest, after you've been away, especially like a 2-week holiday, and you've got these old clothes stuffed in that suitcase waiting to be washed, they are going to start to ming a bit, aren't they? I know people walking around Audi that are like that. You don't want to stand behind some of that lot, dear. Oh, they stink. Dreadful. You don't get those sort of people in Waitrose. I do all my shopping in Aldi. I do. Well, apparently all these cases are stinking. Passengers have claimed as crippling staff shortages continue to cause chaos for British people hoping for a summer getaway. And I think the trains are all right. The Eurostar, that runs okay. Incidentally, the holiday, for some reason I thought it might be cheaper to fly. No, that's like another 500 quid to fly. So I think we'll probably be doing it on the Eurostar, which is lovely, actually. I like being on a train. I do like trains. That trip to Disney is great because you get on the train at St Pancras, actually just round the corner from Central Station. Oh, actually, I wonder if they'd give me a room for nothing then. There's a good point. I wonder if they'd give me a room for nothing one night. That'd save me 100 quid, wouldn't it? Or 50 quid. What I'll probably do is get my niece and her family to come down to a Premier Inn on the night before, so that in the morning they're in position and ready. Then you literally walk out the Premier Inn across the road and there's St Pancras Station. Happy days. And you just get on the train and off it goes. And it's lovely. It's lovely being on that train. It's part of the holiday. It really is. And then it literally pulled in to the Disney train station, unless you get one with a connecting flight, Well, sorry, with a connecting which you change at Lille. Let's just take a break there and go to the phone. Hello, George. How are you tonight?
Hello, Chris.
Did you say you're not well, dear?
I've not been well.
What's wrong, lovey?
I had the tummy bug.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
You know what I think it is? It's because you keep eating dead animals, my love. Vegetarians don't have these problems. It's the dead animals getting their own back. Perhaps you didn't chew that piece of chicken properly and it's now grown inside you and it's trying to peck its way out.
So funny.
It'd have to peck a long way, wouldn't it, my love?
Yes.
Anyway, continue.
I've been to work today.
Oh, have you? Are you making
Yeah.
anything? What are you making?
I'm not made anything. I'm working for someone.
Doing what?
Gardening.
Oh, lovely. And do you enjoy that, George?
Yes.
I like it as well. It's not so much fun in the summer, in the winter. Mind you, I say that, even in the summer, if we haven't had loads of rain, the ground can be very dry and hard.
Do you know what I done?
What?
I broke his lawnmower.
Oh, my God, how did you do that? Did you run over a rabbit or something like that?
No, it's a petrol one.
Right. Oh, I know someone who can fix those. Nephew Gary, head of YouTube, can fix those.
And so can Martin Butler.
Yes.
Listen to these, guys. You probably would know this.
Hang on a minute, we're still on the lawnmower at the moment. What happened to it?
Yeah, this is what I'm going to tell them.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Listen to this, guys. What happened was, it had a leak in prime in it anyway. So I primed it, and the petrol's running out, but it's fine. Went to pull it, and it wouldn't start.
Oh.
And I pulled it again, it wouldn't start. Pulled it again, and it was like, and it stopped.
Can you do that noise again, please, George? Go on, yeah. I love it.
So I put some W40
Right.
in the air filter bit.
Right.
Usually that passes it. Put a bit of W40 and put the air filter back in. I thought, lovely, it started cutting the grass, and it cut out on me.
Oh.
It conked out. I thought, oh God, here we go. So what I done was, I loosened the spark plug, took that out, cleaned it all out, and I put my foot on. I thought, oh God, it's full of oil. So got the rag, cleaned it, that stuff, put the spark plug in. It fired, then all of a sudden cut out again.
Oh.
Conked out. And I thought, oh God, here we go again. Went to pull it. It wouldn't like give me the. It wouldn't like pull sort of thing. It jammed.
Oh.
And I was like, oh God. And I was like, if you just slowly, it would pull over, but very hard though.
Was
And I
it?
was like, oh. If it was hard pull, like slowly, it would pull over. But
Oh.
and
Well-
I was like, there's no way this would start again.
So was that it? It just didn't start after that?
No, it just wouldn't
Oh.
start. So I had to use electric lawnmower.
I was going to say, what are you mucking around with all this petrol stuff for? Honestly, I get mine out, I plug it in and I push a button and it just comes on. No mucking around with petrol and oil and spark plugs and all that old blarney. Oh, blimey.
I hate electric lawnmowers.
Why? Wonderful, you just push the button, that's it, it's done. Comes on. Bzzz, and then when it
No.
stops working, you buy a new one. Huh?
No, I hate them. I really do hate
Oh, George, you didn't tell him that. Did you tell him that you broke it, or did you just put it back in position so that he doesn't know it's you?
Oh, no, I told him.
And was he?
And he said, don't worry, it's an old lawnmower anyway.
Oh, was it? I'll tell you what. Where do you live again? Are you Northampton? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm Northampton.
All right, have a word with Gary. He may kindly come and take that off your hands for you to get it out of the way. You know, he likes to take things apart and all that. And you know, he won't even charge you for that. He'll just come along and take that nasty old lawnmower off your hands and find something to do with it. He won't even charge you for that. How nice is that? Just let him know where to pick it up from. Thank you so much. Sorry?
It's got 2 acres of land.
Blimey.
This thing.
Have you not got
Oh,
a
no.
wire long enough to use an electric one then for that?
No. That's why we have 2 petrol ones. Lucky enough, we had 2 petrol lawnmowers.
Right.
And I said to the guy whose name's John, I said, you go over to the other side because he got the other. It was a petrol fly mower. He said, you do the back bit where the cords don't reach, and I'll do the top bit where the cords can reach. And I've done that bit.
Here, Lily wants to know this, right? Did anyone ever say to you, George, don't eat apple pips, they will grow an apple tree inside of you and sprout out of your ears?
No.
Did no one ever tell you that?
No.
My mate's always going on about apparently someone was eating a pepper and she breathed in a couple of seeds and a pepper grew in her lungs. I can't believe that.
No. So yeah, that's what happened today.
Yeah.
I helped him and the lawnmower broke.
Oh, poor old George.
Also,
We're just talking about holidays at the moment. You're not going away this year, are you?
no.
No. Is it why there was just no space, is that right?
Yes, I want to go on holiday this year. I want to go down to Skegness.
Okay.
Obviously, a bit stupid question to see you.
Yes. Well, I'm only there 1 week a month, you see. It depends when you would go. So, for example, in July, I'm there
It's all good.
I'm
It's
there.
all good.
I'm there why does that say Ronnie off? Why does that say... Oh, no, my mate's going away the week... Is it next week? Yeah, he's away next week. I'm on... It's the second week of the month I'm there next week because they've got the Woodall Spa 1940s weekend, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah, it's in August.
Sorry, George, I'm just having a little bit of a fit. Pardon? What? Eh?
Yeah, it'd be in August.
Right.
We'd be going down there.
Okay, so when am I there in August? Let me see. Because if you're there at the same time, perhaps we could go and have a little fish and chips. Oh, it's the second week again, it looks like. Second week in August. It says here, second week in August.
If not, I can still meet Martin and Sharon.
If they're around in that area, yes. But they don't go to Skegness much. Usually when I'm there, we do one evening there. And we go to the Trawler's Catch and have chips. Who would bring you there? Your mum or your nan or what?
My mum.
Your mum? Yeah, that better be okay.
My mum, my stepdad,
Okay.
and because the point of that is my nan won't be going because of my pap.
Right, yes, of course, yeah. How is he doing, your pap?
Not good at all.
Is he not? Oh. Well, hang on in there. Give him lots of love, all right, my love?
Well, I have to wake up 6 o'clock every morning.
What's that for? To look after him?
Yeah.
What do you have to do? Like washing and all that?
No. Just to make sure his catheter's not blocked and
Right.
stuff like that.
That's very
That's
good
why
of you,
I don't
George.
That's why I don't get a chance to listen to your radio.
Oh, don't worry about that. It's a load of old rubbish anyway. I only talk rubbish for an hour and play some music. I don't know why people listen, my love. All right, George. Thanks for calling in, George.
Okay.
Bye-bye now. There we are, George. Lines are closed now, boys and girls, as we've only got a few minutes left. We have to finish on time tonight because, of course, we're going out on Reach on Air. They have the news to play at 10 o'clock. Who's after me tonight on Reach on Air? I don't know. Liam's here, of course, at midnight tonight at Reach on Air. And straight after me will be... Actually, I'm not sure if there is anything after me, is there? Hang on a minute. Let's have a quick look. Who's after me on Reach on Air? 12 o'clock. Oh, it's mute. Oh, it's no, that's. Is that net? Yeah, we're there. Clive. Oh, Clive's on. Hello, Clive. Clive's preparing his show at the moment. He'll be with you, playing some music between 10 and 11 o'clock. And at 11 o'clock is the legend DJ Dave Squires that I know some of you like to listen to. So that's coming up at Reach on Air. We've got the news coming on in 5 minutes at 10 o'clock. All right. So, yes, smelly bags we're on to, aren't we, at the moment? At Heathrow Airport. Probably due to people coming back. I can't imagine for one moment that people would take smelly clothes purposely on holiday with them, would they, you know? But that's not all. Are you going to Spain? Holla! Holla! Anyone going to Spain? Because there, they got a bit of a problem. We're back on the old subject of insects. Insects, boys and girls. Insects. British people going on holiday in Spain are being warned of a critical... Warning! We need a red alert, son. Warning! 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 They are being warned of a critical increase in mosquitoes, cockroaches, ticks, wasps and bedbugs this summer. Oh my God. Don't want to go to Spain. Torrential rain, followed by the recent heat wave, has created an unbeatable breeding ground for the pests. This is in the Daily Mirror. The Environmental Association said that many local authorities have also stopped prevention campaigns due to costs and labour amid the pandemic. Now, presumably, hotels in particular, surely do they not spray the bedclothes and stuff like that? Bed bugs have been around a while now. I can't think of anything worse than to sort of wake up and be covered in bites and you don't know where they came from. When I went to Cyprus a few years ago now, my niece was living there at the time. That's a lovely place to go on holiday, Cyprus, especially Paphos. You walk along the sea at Paphos. And of course, if you've got a little family, even better to watch the children climbing over the rocks and that sort of thing. But there, I got attacked by mosquitoes there because I didn't put the stuff on. A bit of a man thing to do, isn't it? Oh, don't worry, it'll be all right. No, it wasn't. I was covered in bites. And they don't come up until you get into bed. And I was staying at a hotel, lovely little boutique hotel it was, really nice in... Oh, where was the hotel? I can't remember where the hotel was now. Well, I really liked this little hotel. It was nothing special. It was just nice. Fantastic breakfast they had in there as well. All-you-can-eat buffet type thing. And believe me, I did. And I'd been at my niece's and she dropped us back to the hotel and I had a shower. I got into bed and immediately I thought, my legs are really hot and they started itching. Anyway, I pulled back the bed covers and they were just covered in little red bites. And it was just awful. It was so hot, my legs, they were really hot. And there were bites everywhere, and I called down to the reception because I didn't have anything to put on them. Have you got any sort of bite cream or anything like that? And really nice receptionist. Oh, we'll have a look for you. Just a minute. Anyway, he rang back 10 minutes later. I'm really sorry. He said, we haven't got anything at all like that here. Not even to buy. He said, but I have got white vinegar. Come down. I'll give you some white vinegar and some cotton wool. If you dab that on, it will help. So I went downstairs to give me this little jar of white vinegar and some cotton wool. And I went back up to my room. And I started dabbing my leg with this white vinegar, and I think it did help. Actually, it did actually help, which was handy. And then I went to bed. And in the morning, I woke up. I pulled back the covers. Oh, it smelled like a fish and chip shop. All I could smell in this room was blooming vinegar. I mean, but it did do the trick. Of course, these bites don't go instantly, though. I was covered in these bites for days, and I learnt my lesson. And I put some special cream on. I think it was Army issue. It was called DEET, D-E-E-T, and it comes in this green tube. And that seemed to be pretty effective, actually, against future bites or anything like that. Anyway, it's nearly time to go. We didn't, as always, get through our whole menu of little things to talk about there. That always happens, as you well know. I start going off about something completely different. We've had some lovely phone calls tonight. Thanks ever so much to Dan and Johnny Floodgate and Ross and George for calling in on the show tonight. There'll be another chat show for you, UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk next week. If there's a gap on Reach on Air, we'll go on there as well, because that kind of works quite well, okay? Coming up on Reach just after 10 o'clock, just in 10 seconds' time, is the news. I'll be back with you at Reach on Air tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Thanks for watching and listening to the show. I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye now.